Good day to you, robot enjoyers. So if you've been following along, it looks like the War for Cybertron trilogy is swiftly wrapping things up, making way for the hot new toys coming up for Transformers Legacy. All that leaves us with two things. Firstly, what happened to Kingdom Gears? And how long until we finally see that mold? He appeared in the promo art, they were clearly far enough in the design process for the mold to exist, right? And secondly, it'll probably be a while before we see the weaponizers again, if ever. So today I'm gonna spam some slam on ya. It's Kingdom Slammer. Something I've always really admired about the weaponizers is that they were generally based on characters that didn't have robot modes before. So the designers had to create robots out of strange city former accessories like
Brunt
or Slammer themselves, or various Micromaster bases like Ironworks or Airwave. And sure, in the case of Cog, Fast Track, and Six Gun, they did already have robot modes, but think about that for a second. We got individual mainline releases of Cog, Fast Track, and Six Gun. That's incredible. Remember when we were still aching for a good Galvatron, or even a Reflector? As Transformers collectors, we are pretty spoiled right now, and it's easy to take that for granted. But getting to Slammer, they began life as one of G1 Metroplex's accessories in the form of a tiny tank. And that was basically it for them. No robot mode, no fanfare, no nothing. But not anymore. Now Slammer's got themselves a body, and they're determining their own path in life. And to celebrate that, we're starting with the tank mode anyway. In an almost unprecedented move for the weaponizers, Slammer transforms into something vaguely recognizable. In this case, a tank. And it's a pretty cute chunk, isn't it? It looks like it'd be the perfect combiner leg. The proportions are definitely giving me echoes of Combiner Wars Brawl. It looks like a brick. It looks like an angry bar of soap. But hey, definitely accurate to the original look. That is what we want, yeah? This little thing kinda looks irresistible. You'd think the basic color scheme of white, gray, and black and a bit of silver would come across as pretty bare bones, but somehow it works. And the detailing is fantastic, sporting tons of subtle, admirable etchings immersing you into this thing's world. Also, I like how they've got two microscopic headlights on each side that are almost spitefully too small. The tank turret can't turn, which is a bit of a downer. I mean, hey, I get that most Transformers tanks can't do this, but still, wah. However, I suppose you can raise it upwards a bit if you want to recreate Cup's Blitzwing moment from the '86 movie. I also want to point out that no, his face isn't on full display in the vehicle mode, like how it is in the promo images. Seriously, why is that still happening? Also, the barrel doesn't seem to peg in super securely. I'm sure I can easily fix that, but no one likes taking time out of their day to do that. And I wish they could have snuck the serial number in a less conspicuous spot on this sucker, rather than splattered on the side. Other than that, this makes for a pretty decent, serviceable tank mode. Considering how this form was all Slammer had going for them for 36 years, I suppose it's a novelty in itself that Hasbro managed to fish out this oddball of obscurity. But it's still a good alt mode, and it doesn't even have to rely on the "it's a Cybertronian mode" excuse. I guess you can say this thing is a slam dunk. As with all weaponizers, Slammer transforms by breaking apart and forming back together in a different order until you've got something looking humanoid, like a Micro Mega Supreme. It's fairly logical, and after a while it gets easier remembering which pieces go where, and it all leads you to this block of a bot. It's sweet how the front of the alt mode forms the whole chest area, and there's something really appealing about how rectangular their design is. I like how there's missiles hidden in their legs and... wait, are those guns on their feet? But moving on, can we please talk about that head sculpt for a moment? Because it is adorable. Check it out, they're totally expressive under that mouth guard and exaggeratingly huge visor. And it's neat how the blockiness of their body extends to their head as well. Like, their head is basically a cube. I love it. I swear, the minute I saw the promo images for this thing, I turned into movie Megatron.
Give me that cube, boy!
And Slammer's rocking some sensational articulation for a deluxe darling. You could even kind of make them do an ab crunch, a sight as rare as the blue moon on Transformers. Something else that helps this rectangular troublemaker is that since the whole point of it is that you can break them apart, you get some freedom for what to do with their weapons. You can have their tank barrel pointing out the back, stealing Blitzwing's look, or have it mounted to the side like a fusion cannon, which is my preference. Also, you can store these tank treads on the back, or you can make Slammer wield a chainsaw? Hell yeah! How many Transformers use chainsaws? So yeah, Slammer's robot mode is plenty pleasurable, especially when you consider this didn't exist before. Hasbro had to make a robot out of a guy who was just a tank. Gee, it's almost like that's what Transformers do. But now to get to Slammer's third thing, which is turning their entire body into weapons. In blowing up Slammer's entire self, you can turn any figure from huggable hunk into a one-bot military machine. I've gone over some of this before, but I love how mindlessly extra this is. Like, does any robot need an entire column of missiles jetting out their back? Objectively, no, but here they are anyway. Give them the chainsaw and the industrial fusion blaster, add a few arm stilts, and voila, there they are. I don't really have the words for something this extreme, however I can say it definitely justifies the whole weaponizer gimmick for me. And part of what's great about these is the seemingly endless potential for what you can do. Weaponizers are fan mode central, and there is no possible way I can do justice to the amount of options there are. Let's just say there's a lot to discover and see for yourself with this toy. It's just so unique and fun. I understand that weaponizers, modulators, fossilizers, whatever, aren't for everyone and they can be pretty hit and miss with some people. But for me, personally, this is hitting. Some people might complain about how it's got a parts form to do what it does, but come on, it's a weaponizer. That's its thing. It's been 3 years, you know this by now. But for those wanting to dive their noses into the lovingly obscure, or maybe if you were really into Bionicle at some point, I think Slammer can serve you up just right. Oh hot slam, this is my jam. And hey, are you a breakfast item at Denny's? 'Cause you're looking like a grand slam. Goodbye.